They said, O Dul Carnain, lo, Gog and Magog are spoiling the land. So may we pay thee tribute on condition that thou set a barrier between us and them. He said, that wherein my lord hath established me is better than your tribute. Do but help me with the strength of men. I will set between you and them a bank. Give me pieces of iron, till, when he had levelled up the gap between the cliffs, he said, blow. Till, when he had made it a fire, he said, bring me molten copper, to pour thereon. And Gog and Magog were not able to surmount, nor could they pierce it. He said, this is a mercy from my lord, but when the promise of my lord cometh to pass, he will lay it low, for the promise of my lord is true. Surah al-Kahf. Anchored by the Taurus Mountains to the west, and the mighty Atlas Mountains in the east, the two horns of the crescent moon, the invincible iron wall of Du al-Qarnayn is both the symbol of the Sultanate and the very reason for its existence. Beyond it lies the last and the greatest realm of those who believe, easily eclipsing all other known wonders of the world. None who have seen the Iron Wall can ever forget it. Despite centuries of artillery bombardment by heretic cannons, its surface remains untarnished, glittering as a newly cast thing in the morning sun, and at night the manifold gemstones embedded into its very structure light up in a wondrous show of colour and artistry. The wall itself, nor its gates, have been brought down, and while the enemies have made it across the wall to spread death and terror deep into the Sultanate proper, they have always been thrown back. The wall remains warm to touch, for the molten lava still courses within. On the exceedingly rare instances when a terrifying weapon of hell has managed to crack its surface, the outpouring of molten metal within has brought a swift death to the invaders, and the rapidly cooling lava has then hardened to reform the wall. At regular intervals stand towers and bulwarks erected by the sultans of both past and the present, specifically constructed to support the long-range artillery of the Imperial School of Military Engineering. The great spires act as both lookouts as well as minarets for calling the believers to Salah 5 times a day. These constructions, mighty as they may be, are not nearly as durable as the invincible iron wall. They are often under repair or being rebuilt due to the damage the heretic artillery and long-range bombers inflict upon them. There are 4 great gates, as well as many lesser ones, roughly corresponding to the 4 cardinal directions. Each holds a great garrison, commanded by a Lord of the Standard, or Sanjak Bey, responsible for the security and protection of the trade routes beyond. Despite their formidable constructions, Sultans Pasha know that if one of the 4 gates was ever taken, the Sultanate would be in mortal peril. Thus, it is not just janissaries and a host of azebs and sappers that guard the great gates, but instead each entrance is also guarded by 2 Taquin creatures of truly colossal proportions. Winged beasts with eyes keener than those of any hawk, and claws that can tear a heretic tank in half with a single swipe. Their form was chosen in honour of the legendary Barak that once carried the Prophet. They are not only there to protect the gates with physical force, but also with their wit. Created with keen intellect, the Barak Taquin test the travellers to the Sultanate with subtle but deeply perspicacious questions and riddles, exposing heretic infiltrators and weeding out those who would bring harm to the believers. Due to their intelligence, the Taquin Guardians are well aware of the artificial nature of their existence, suffering from the knowledge of this unnatural existence each day as they carry out their duties. It is said that they are created as pairs not only for their might, but also so that they can give solace to each other with deep philosophical discussions and sophisticated poetry, alleviating the pain of their existential horror, for they were created by a man and not by a god, and thus can hold no hope of salvation. When there are no passerbys travelling through the gate, their low, rumbling voices echo across the wall as they debate the meaning of the 99 names of Allah, the nature of love, or past battles they have engaged in the many years of their existence. Creation and maintenance of even one of these mighty beasts cost the Sultan the yearly income of an entire region, and occupies the finest cadre of the alchemists of the House of Wisdom for the better part of 7 years. It is a price the Sultan is glad to pay for the protection of his people. The bountiful blessings of the Iron Wall are not limited to mere physical protection from the forces of Shaitan. The scholars of the House of Wisdom have laboured for decades to create machines to help maintain and regulate the precipitation within the lands of the believers, as well as making the Sultanate airspace exceedingly hard for heretics' air force to harry due to the high winds that often whip above the spires of the Iron Wall, where wondrous devices trap the passing gales and storms and use them to guard the airspace against the heretic hellbombers and long-range reconnaissance planes.